What is up, you guys? Today we are going to do a NFL mock draft post Sean Payton trade. Last year, around this same time, I did a trade about the Russell Wilson trade. I did not do that this time around, but this time we're doing a Sean Payton trade. So, Broncos, you're still involved in some trades. And this time you lose some more first-round picks. So, way to be, Broncos. You guys are so great this season. Anyways, I love making fun of the Broncos, if you didn't know that already. So let's go ahead and start with the first pick, the Chicago Bears. It says they need wide receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, linebacker, or defensive back. Which is why I'm going to have them trading back with the Indianapolis Colts for the first and fourth overall pick. Just trade swap that. And this is a mock draft, so we don't really need to know about all the other stuff. We're just doing a first round mock draft. So I just flipped those picks. I don't know what that draft pick would look like in real life. Anyways, so now the Colts are on the clock. And so there's options here. There's a lot of options. You've got Bryce Young, if you want to go quarterback, which they probably will. Will Levis, CJ Stroud, some other options. I'm going to go Bryce Young. I think after the way he ended his season at Alabama, I think he's the consensus number one at this point. And then let's talk. So the Texans have the second overall pick. And I'm going to be honest, quarterback here is probably another obvious one. You've got Will Levis, CJ Stroud. I'm going to go CJ Stroud. I think you got just somebody you can kind of build around. I mean, he played very good. He was kind of thought to be as a pocket quarterback before the playoffs, and he showed up in the college football playoff and showed that he can also use his legs if absolutely necessary. So that's very good to hear. And now the Cardinals. They could take Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, Myles Murphy, Brian Bresee, Tyree Wilson. There's a couple other ones. There's also some offensive linemen they could take, some tackles. I think we're going to go here, and we're going to take a J.J. Watt replacement in Jalen Carter, the best player available, who fell to them because every other team is quarterback needy. Now the Chicago Bears via the Indianapolis Colts. They could take a wide receiver here, but that would be a crazy reach. They're needed some O-line, some D-line, or a defensive back. The only defensive back available right now is Brian Branch. But there is Brian Bresee, Tyree Wilson, Myles Murphy, and Will Anderson. And that's exactly what we're going to take, Will Anderson. And see how that goes. Try to rebuild that defense, because it was really good a couple years ago, then they made all those trades that kind of got rid of all the defense, which is not what you want if you are the Bears. But hey, the offense is pretty solid, now just build up that defense. And now the Seattle Seahawks. Will Levis is available, although I do not see them going quarterback. It says they need a guard, a center, or a D lineman. I'm going to trust that they know what they're talking about. So, Myles Murphy, Tyree Wilson, or Brian Bresee. That's probably who I'd see them going to. Paris Johnson Jr., if none of these guys are available. But let's be real, it's the fifth pick, so one of those three guys is going to be available. So let's take the best option of those guys, which is Myles Murphy out of Clemson. And now the Lions via the Rams. I doubt they go quarterback here, but it's possible. They need, again, D-line, which is either Brian Bresee or Tyree Wilson. And yeah, I think we're going to go Brian Bresee. And now the Raiders they need a quarterback badly. And so even though it's the 7th overall pick, and I think Will Levis, it would be a reach for Will Levis, they desperately need a quarterback. So unless there's a trade in the offseason, which I doubt there's going to be at this point, unless they're able to get a guy like Garoppolo, then yeah, I think they're going to go with Will Levis. As of right now, because there's no other quarterbacks available, they have no other quarterback options. So the Falcons. They don't really need a quarterback. They've got I can't remember his name to save my life right now, but they've got him. They got a solid quarterback right now, or they've got a quarterback as of right now. He's unproven, but he's decent. So the other options are wide receiver, edge rusher, or linebacker. There's no wide receivers really in the area right now, but you could go edge rusher, Tyree Wilson, who is available at the 8th overall pick. The ninth pick, the Panthers. I don't think they need a quarterback right now. I think the way that Sam Darnold ended his season was a pretty solid ending. So you could go edge rusher. Well, really, there's no really edge rushers available. So I think you haven't really gotten to see what Sam Darnold can do as a passer. So you can thank Adam Gase for that one. He was really great at being a coach. So let's build up that defensive line with offensive line, with Paris Johnson Jr. And now the Eagles. At number 10. If I'm being real here, honestly, they could trade back and get a player here, but I don't know where exactly a player would be necessary. Because, I mean, you don't really have any offensive players available right now. You don't have, so, I mean, it's rumored you could go Bijan Robinson. I mean, I doubt in the 10th spot that Bijan would be a very high reach, number 10. But we'll go and we'll see what happens here. But yeah, I think we're gonna make a trade. Trade here for sure. The 10th spot. Let's see who players are available. See which teams could use those players. So a safety's available. A quarterback's available. A tackle's available. So if there's any teams who are like in desperate need of tackles, I don't think they'd take them. But their offensive line is getting kind of old, so I mean that could be an option. But I don't think they'd take them yet. A team that's in desperate need of a tackle would be the Steelers at 17. So we'll see if the Steelers want to make a trade. And we'll just trade that back and forth again. It'd probably be more realistic in real life. I just swap those players, see what happens. Because, I mean, again, not exactly like that would be... It's going to be more realistic in real life, but I just wanted to make the draft accurate. Anyways, let's go see what they could use here. I think you take Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern. Tackle out of Northwestern. It's a bit of a reach, but I mean, I think it's a solid draft-up option over the Eagles, whose offensive line is getting kind of old. So now you get to the Titans. I think this is where the first wide receiver goes off the board. I think you have the option, or wide receiver, or any offensive skilled position here can go off the board. I think wide receiver, tight end, Bijan Robinson is, of course, still available, although I doubt he'd go. Zay Flowers, who is rumored to be a top wide receiver, which is absolutely stupid because he's not even the best wide receiver in the ACC. Yes, I said it, and I will die by those words. So, yes, I'm going to go with the Titans' Quentin Johnston. Now, the Texans, I see a trade. It's via Cleveland. I see a trade here. I think the Texans are a very good possibility that they take a player, and the Green Bay Packers are going to want to take that player and say, no. No. I want this player, says the Packers, and the Packers are going to take this player. It is Michael Mayer. Packers need a tight end here. I think they take Michael Mayer. I absolutely love that pickup. As now the Jets have they already taken a QB? I think this might be their first pick. Yes, their first draft pick, isn't it? No, this is their first pick. So Anthony Richardson's available, and I'm going to be honest with you. As of right now, it doesn't look like many quarterbacks are going to be available this offseason. It looks like Lamar's probably going to be re-signed. Garoppolo's probably going to get traded, possibly there. Derek Carr could go to the Jets. That's really like But honestly, even if Derek Carr goes to the Jets, I'd still want a quarterback from the Jets because Derek Carr has not looked great. So I'm going to go Anthony Richardson. I don't see any issues with that. And now the New England Patriots. It says they need a quarterback. I think that is completely false. Their quarterback has been really good this season. They're always wide receiver hungry. So I think this is where Jackson Smith and Jigba goes. Is now the Texans via Green Bay after the trade that I made in this mock draft. They could use D-line. They could use a center, which I don't think there's any centers available, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you're going to need to trade far back if you want any of those, because it'll be a very far reach. Anyways, you've got Brian Branch available. You've got Lucas Van Ness, which would be a slight reach, but not a crazy one. Yeah. Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, but both of those would be a slight reach. I'm going to go with Lucas Van Ness. Washington at pick number 16 could use a quarterback. I disagree with that. I think they've got two very capable quarterbacks on their roster. Oh, actually, no, because never mind. Wentz and Howell at the moment are the only quarterbacks, because Heineke's is a free agent, I believe. But if they re-sign him, then they're good. But I think Howell would be the starter in that sense. You saw how great he played against the Cowboys. They don't really need a running back. We're going to take Brian Branch. He's been on the board for way too long. I think Commanders would just take that as a good sign. Just take him. As now Philly, who they've got some older edge guys. So I think you take Nolan Smith, edge rusher out of Georgia. As now the Lions, this is their actual pick. Linebacker, cornerback, or defensive line. That's tough. There's a bunch of corners available. You've got Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez. We're going to go Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois. He's the best corner available, according to that. And now the Buccaneers. I would say running back, but it looks like with Todd Bowles' new system, running back is not exactly a thing that they're good at. So there's tight end, guard, center, or the line. Let's look here. There's Roderick Jones is available. He's a tackle. Which, that could be helpful for the next quarterback available, because there's not really... who are the other quarterbacks left on the board? I don't even know who they are. Yeah, Tanner McGee, Hendon Hooker. I don't know. Hendon Hooker, that's tough. It says Max Duggan. I'm pretty sure he's confirmed he's staying, but I'm not sure. Hendon Hooker... Man, I forgot about him. Yeah, we're going to take Anton Harrison. They need a tackle. Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. He's the best tackle available in that spot. Seahawks could use any kind of offensive line help or a defensive lineman. So any trenches help would be nice for them. Which is exactly why we're going to take Broderick Jones out of Georgia. And now, with the 21st pick, the Chargers, they'll take... This is tough. Chargers could use a wide receiver. They could use a tackle, which we just took all the tackles off the board. You could or a linebacker or a cornerback. Let's see what the linebackers are looking like. I don't think we've taken a linebacker yet in this draft. Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. He'll be available. He's available right now, but I don't see a team reaching for him in this spot when there's players that they could use in this spot, like Jordan Addison, Cam Smith, Joey Porter, Christian Gonzalez. But I mean, their wide receivers have been so unhealthy, so many injuries dealing with. You just take one guy for whenever it inevitably happens. Whenever a guy inevitably gets hurt, Jordan Addison will be there as a backup who can come in and do good. Now, the Baltimore Ravens. Could you imagine Bijan Robinson in that offense? I could not, and it's not going to happen because they don't need it. They have so many other running backs available, they don't need it. Edge rusher or corner, we're going to go Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Now, the Vikings, the 23rd pick. Who are the wide receivers available right now? They're not going to take them. I'm just curious who the wide receivers that the thing has available. It says Josh Downs, Jalen Hyatt, Zay Flowers. I think Flowers is better than Hyatt, but I think Downs is better than Zay. So, I mean, that's tough. I don't think that the Vikings are going to take him there, but I mean, yeah. So they could use cornerback help, but I mean, they take corner every single year. I think they trade back. I do. I think they trade back with the... So they could trade back for a linebacker, because that's when Trenton Simpson's going to be available. Or you could reach for him here. Or you stick and pick, which is what I'm going to have them do. Take Cam Smith out of South Carolina. Now, you've got the Jaguars at the 24th pick, who are in need of a guard, and a guard's available in Osiris Torrance right there. It'd be a bit of a reach, but I mean, again, I don't see any of these players really being good, and especially for the spot. I mean, I guess you could take Joey Porter, but I think your offensive weapons are set for at least a couple years now with all the contracts around right now, how the contracts are structured. You could take Porter at corner, or you could protect Lawrence so that he can make passes to those absolutely amazing players. Osiris Torrance. I don't see an issue with that. Now, the Giants. I don't think this is much of a, surprise. It's an offensive weapon, is the options here. You have Bijan Robinson, which again, that's stupid. You have Saquon, so it's a stupid decision. You have Zay Flowers, you have Hyatt, and you have Downs. As much as I want Josh Downs to go to the Chiefs, I just don't think that Josh Downs, the Giants see Josh Downs at the 37, that's what he's projected to go, which is dumb. 25th overall pick. They see Flowers, Downs, Hyatt. I think you take Josh Downs out of that group. I just do. I don't see any other option there. As now the Cowboys, who could really use a wide receiver. You have, although you do also have linebacker or defensive end, or line, sorry. So, I mean, Trenton Simpson, again, he's available here. I think that's possible. Very much so, that's possible. I mean, that's just tough. That's real tough. In this spot, I think you take Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt's available. I think he's better than Zay Flowers. I just do. I think Zay Flowers I watched one game of his when he was in college, and it was a pretty solid game. I don't remember who exactly he was playing, but he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns. It was some ACC school that was pretty dang bad. I think it was Duke. Now I think about it, and they're pretty bad at football. Anyways, now the Bills. Not Bijan Robinson. I don't see that happening here. We're going to take a defensive back, Joey Porter. And now the Bengals, who are in need of a tackle, but it just sucks here because there are none available that are worth it in the first round. Not a tackle available in the first round that's worth it. So, yeah, that's tough right there. Okay, the Bengals, they could go defensive line. They could go cornerback, which they probably desperately need after the idiotic things that Eli Apple has said. Where's my mouse at? There it is. I mean, yeah, there's nobody worth it at this spot. I think, who are their linebackers? Osai was a linebacker. So I mean, you're not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, he's going. Duh. So I don't know. Their linebackers were solid. Osai made that one mistake that cost him the game. It sucks, but it's whatever. It's going to be a bit of a reach. He's going to go 32nd. But we're going to take Saikai Ika out of Baylor. And now the Saints are on the clock. Again, you've got Trenton Simpson, who's available. And I think he is a first-round talent. I definitely think that. I think the Saints are also solid enough to where they could go with him. I think Bijan Robinson, he's also a first-round talent. I think you could go to the Chiefs or to the Eagles. However, I think it's probably going to be the Eagles because the Chiefs do not want him. We have our own 7th-round rookie who is a lot better than him. I mean, Zay Flowers, maybe. I mean, need a wide receiver. I mean, Zay Flowers gets some young receiving. And now this puts the Chiefs in a really tough spot. Because you don't really need defensive help. You could use a defensive tackle, I guess. So let's look at defensive tackles. See if there's literally any available, because I doubt there is. I mean, yeah, the next defensive tackle is not even close to available. So, I mean, you don't need a linebacker. You don't need a safety. Because we've got a lot of young rookies. I think, however, I'm not sure when Thornhill's contract ends. We're going to take Antonio Johnson. I mean, that's the best player, I think, available for us at that moment. We don't need any other of those players. And now the Eagles, I think this is an absolute no-brainer here. He's somehow dropped this far, although I think this is exactly where they wanted him. Bijan Robinson. I don't see any other options. I think Bijan Robinson's a great player. And yeah, that's the draft. Yeah. It's grading my draft. I don't care what they think it's graded, because I know it's probably a terrible draft. I know that I'm not exactly an analyst. It's still grading my draft. But yeah, so, alright, it's here. It's, so yeah. Notable changes I made. I had the Colts trade up with Chicago to get Bryce Young. CJ Stroud went second to the Texans. And then other trades I made. New Orleans traded down with the Texans. Wait, no, that's not New Orleans. That's the Eagles. The Eagles traded down because it was New Orleans' pick originally. Traded down with the Steelers to get Peter Skoronski. So Steelers got Peter Skoronski at number 10. The wide receiver, first receiver off the board was Quentin Johnston. The Packers traded up with, who was it? It was Cleveland's original pick, but they didn't have it. I don't remember who it was, but they traded up with them and got. It was the Texans. It was the Texans, and who had Cleveland's pick, and they got Michael Mayer. Had the Jets go quarterback and take Richardson. With the 15th pick that the Texans traded, they got Van Ness out of Iowa. Branch went 16th to the Commanders. 17th was Nolan Smith from the Pittsburgh-Philadelphia trade where they swapped 10th, 17th pick. First corner was Devon Witherspoon. To the Lions. And the wide receivers, like the last 3 wide receivers I had were Josh Downs, Hyatt, and Flowers in that order. Downs to the Giants, Hyatt to the Cowboys, and Flowers to the Saints. I had the Bengals go defensive line and take Baylor's Psyche Ika. Bijan Robinson went the last overall pick to the Eagles. Anyways, you guys, that is my mock draft 3.0, 4.0. I kind of lost count at this point. But yeah, that's my mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below any picks that you think I got wrong. Comment your favorite player in this draft. Comment where exactly do you think, comment your favorite team and what position you'd like them to draft. Anyways, guys, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.